Welcome to Viking Sports News. My name is Will Murray.
And my name is John Pettiani. This week, we have a collection of interviews with coaches, athletes, and support staff on our campus.
For our first story, our reporter Romaldo Goncalves talked to Alfio Caraboda, the men's head soccer coach, about how soccer impacted his life and career path to bring him to WCC.
Coach Caraboda, you said you immigrated here at the age of 13 with your parents. Before you came here, what was your life like back in Italy?
Very simple, small town. My dad actually raising horses, so I was farming. Grew up in the country. My mom's family had immigrated to the States way before, so my mom actually was the last of the family that came to the state, and we immigrated to the state to just get a better lifestyle.
All right. Where in Italy did you live? You said countryside. Is it?
It's in province of Messina in Sicily, San Fratello, which is a small town, like I said, in province of Messina.
When you came here from the States playing, or you played soccer before, did you get to high school here and you started playing high school soccer?
Yes, I played, actually I was middle school, I played soccer, and one of the biggest eye-openers for me was because, like I said, I grew up in a small town and only played with my local friends from there, and then coming to the States and playing with people from different countries, different culture. It was such an eye-opener, but a pleasant eye-opener for me. It was very rewarding to see people from different country playing together, something that we're in common with, the love of the game. So for me, it was a unique experience. Just meeting other people from other countries was great. And we all didn't speak English, but we had something in common. We all loved the game, so we had something that we all had passion for it, and it was great.
What exact grade did you come here? You said middle school.
Seventh grade.
Seventh grade. All right. When you got to high school, you said already that you were playing for your high school soccer team.
Yes, I did.
Were you scouted to play for college?
In my senior year, there was a couple of coaches. They came over to scout me and watch me play. This particular coach from San Francisco, we struck a good bond. We contacted each other quite often, and I pursued that revenue to go to school in San Francisco, at San Francisco College, and it was great for me. It was a wonderful experience. College soccer was nothing but positive thing for me. I was fortunate enough to get an education with that as well. A Division I program. My senior year, we won the MAC tournament. So I had a little bit of introduction with semi-pro team. Didn't pursue that. I finished my education, got my degree, and I got a teaching job as a phys ed teacher.
Is that what led you to be here at WCC? Or?
No, I graduated from college in 1980. I got my job as a phys ed teacher. My first job was in the city as a private school. And then the following year, I got a job in the Bronx, Holy Family on Castle Hill Avenue. And then I was there for 2 years. And then my third year, I was approached by a friend of mine that they needed a coach at Eastchester High School. And there was a possibility for the phys ed position as well. I coached the first year, and then the second year was a part-time position. And I got the part-time position. I was there part-time for a few years, and then eventually I got a full-time position. I was there at Eastchester for 37 years. So I was fortunate to get into Eastchester through coaching, through soccer, and then eventually developed a career there at Eastchester for 37 years.
And how did you get your position here?
There was a coaching position available. The coaching position was available. I threw my name into the hand as far as because I was at the end of my career at Eastchester, which I'm retired teaching now. And sent my resume. Mr. LaFiore called me. I had a phone interview and then a week later or so, I got a campus interview, and I got the offer of the job of the head coach position.
That's very interesting. So, when you started first, was there any difficulties getting used to teaching college students here, or was it the same as over
Coaching, it was definitely an eye opener for me. I was very pleasant to surprised to see the level of the talent and the level of competition that was competing the other schools. I didn't think it was so competitive and so difficult. But my first 2 years was prior pandemic. It was great. My first year with a phenomenal team. My second year with a great team as well.
Would you say you like the more competitive side of soccer, or do you like more of the just friendly playing of soccer?
You step on the field, you compete. And it's one of my pet peeves with the players is no one is going to give you anything. You have to earn it. You have to go out and get it. You have to. So when you step on the field, you step in to compete. No matter who you're playing, if it's a friendly game or whatever, you always want to win. You don't want to wind up on the losing side. So competition is essential.
What would be your favorite or best memory with soccer involving you?
Club soccer, playing club teams, winning championship games. Obviously, my college, winning the MAC tournament. So those are fun memory for me. It's just really wonderful memory. I still play, believe it or not. I still try to run around with this young man and try to compete. I enjoy the game.
All right, Coach Carabota, thank you for the time. Thank you for the interview.
My
was
pleasure.
great.
Thank you, Romaldo, for bringing us that interesting story.
Our next reporter, Brandro Mohendejo, sat down with Siobhan Wright, an academic support coordinator who overcame his own physical and academic struggles to now helping WCC athletes overcome similar obstacles.
So I'm from the Bronx, New York, and currently I am academic support for student athletes at Westchester Community College.
What would you say is the best part of your job right now?
The best part of my job right now, I would say working with student athletes. That's definitely number one.
Mm-hmm.
And just being around sports all the time. I definitely think that being paid to be around sports is a blessing. Yeah, for sure.
So backtrack a little bit in your career. What sports did you play when you were coming up in high school and college?
Flag football and basketball.
Okay. Did you face any challenges academically that got in the way of your sports? If so, how did you deal with those challenges?
Oh yeah, I did not like to do homework, so
Everybody.
yeah, so I did struggle. Like I went to York College, I struggled, did not complete that year because I stopped going. So then I got kicked out, had to face academic probation when I returned to school. Not that year, but the year after. So it's like 2 wasted years. So being on academic probation, just having to work back, like to get back in good standing. Sports is not even an option. So I just had to get everything corrected. So I didn't even play until I went to Mercy College.
Yeah.
But by then I already had that car accident, so I wasn't able to compete on that varsity level. But I did, compete on the club level.
Yeah. My next point was actually talking about the accident. How did that affect your playing career and get in the way of you wanting to compete?
Well, yeah, herniated disc, 3 bulging discs, nerve damage, all those things. It's a lot to come back from. There are some athletes that don't come back from herniated disc, depending on the sport. Definitely does cause an issue with mobility, especially turning or whatever.
Yeah.
But overall, working back from that, honestly, when I played club basketball, it kind of felt ceremonial because I didn't feel 100% like I felt before. I felt good. I was good enough to play, but I didn't feel like myself. I would have a flash of something good, and then back to just feeling like an old man. So it was definitely rough. So that was a hurdle, but I think I'm way past that. But still, there's no playing career for me.
Do you have any advice for younger athletes?
A lot of people sometimes they need a muse, you know. So if there's something that motivates a person, it's important to make them realize that. I'm not gonna tell them what it is, but you know, whatever motivates you to do what you do, you know, harness that and you know, push forward to your goals.
Thank you, Virendra, for bringing us that story.
I sat down with Andre Pennicoke, the WCC men's head basketball coach. He's a former WCC graduate and has come back to inspire and be a role model for student athletes.
Andre Pennicoke, Coach Andre. I am the head coach at Westchester Community College.
So I know you've coached all levels, high school, AAU, and college. What have you learned from each level, and I guess how has it helped you succeed, or kind of what have you taken from it?
AAU is a lot about scheduling, being able to get the most out of the players in a short amount of time. AAU, you could be playing, if you win, you could be playing about 7 games in a weekend. So definitely about scheduling. When you start to flying, driving, you got to deal with lodging, transportation, and you know, just kind of being similar to a college in a way, where you're in charge of so many moving parts and so many people. Just being the head coach, but also being the AD at the same time. So AAU kind of gave me the fundamentals on that. In high school, just bought the academic scholastic, similar to when I was playing. So kind of knew those things, but being able to relate to a new generation of players.
What does it mean for you to be able to be the head coach for your former school?
It means a lot. It means a lot. I didn't get a chance to play here. But, you know, I had a coach that was here, and he was like, look, it's either basketball or work. And, you know, understandable, because of there weren't any, we weren't technologically advanced at the time to be able to do remote things. So kind of had to choose work, because if I didn't choose work, then I wouldn't be able to go to school. So, you know, coming back and being a head coach, it's kind of cool. I have a lot of guys on my team that work, and just being able to, I laugh all the time. I tell them a story that, hey, you're lucky, because back in my day, I wouldn't be able to do this. Now it's like, oh, coach, what time practicing? I got to get to work. You know, and I understand it. So kind of have to have that balance, but it also teaches them time management at an earlier age.
So would you say you're kind of in your position and the experience you've had that you can relate to these kids?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, they bring every type of excuse. I don't even know if call it an excuse, but you know, as they experience these challenges, I laugh. I'm like, all right, but you can do it, you know. Or how about think about doing it this way, doing it that way? No, coach, you don't understand. Actually, I do understand. Like, I've been through this before. And I would say, you know, the funny thing is, I've been through it in the same exact school. So I understand the coursework. I understand how much you have to study here. Honestly, this is, for lack of better words, a bit harder than some universities. So I'm like, you know, you get through this, you get to university, it's going to be a breeze.
Being a younger coach, or you're still a young coach, I'd say. Do you feel like that allows you to connect with your players in a more unique way or a more understanding way?
I don't think the age is a factor, because they all call me old anyways. So like, I don't think age is a factor at all. But I think just having gone through the experiences that they are now currently experiencing, a little bit different, obviously, with technology and the different stresses that come with that, and the different mental health issues that we all are aware of now. It's a little bit different, but it's more of having an understanding.
Just what does being a role model mean to you?
You can talk the talk, but you also got to walk the walk, which just means like doing the things that you say or you're advising someone else to do. I think a lot of guys that look at me and, you know, I'm in the gym. I'm telling them to be in the gym all the time, telling them, look, I'm in the gym. If I'm not in the gym, they probably won't be in the gym. But if I'm in the gym, some of them, 1, 2, or 3 of them are going to be in the gym a lot. And it's going to be like another 3 that's there sometimes. There's going to be guys that's never in the gym at all. But when it comes down to it, if they aren't able to achieve certain things, or they aren't able to do certain things on the court, and it is a direct correlation of not going to the gym, now I can hold them really accountable for that. So that's just one aspect of it. Another aspect is talk about school, oh, this is hard. I'm like, all right, these are the things that I did while going to school. I worked 40 to 60 hours a week. Graduated associates with 3.3, bachelor's with 3.2, and a master's with 3.8. There's nothing you tell me that it's possible. Probably happy I did that early on, so I can handle it now, but it's still a lot. It takes a toll on you mentally, it takes a toll on you physically and emotionally. And you have to balance that because you're working with younger minds, younger people, younger generation, and it's not their fault that you're doing or had to do all of these things. Plus, they're bringing their own challenges, emotional challenges, mental challenges, physical challenges. So it's a balance. Just got to figure it out, honestly. Every day is like a figuring out process. And, even if you're ready for something, you're never too ready. It's like a roller coaster. Like, the drop is happening.
Thanks, Will, for bringing us that inspirational story. I sat down with Michael Ambrosecchia, an exemplary student who is able to maintain a near-perfect GPA while working full-time and being an athlete. So I'm here today with Michael Ambrosecchia, a WCC athlete, and we're here to ask you some questions today. So Ambro, what's your schedule like every day, and how's your day start?
All right, so my days start at 5:30 every morning at the golf course. I go to work for about 6 to 8 hours, and then I have class. Then after class, we go to practice, and then the rest of the day is pretty light, doing homework, studying, going to the gym.
What about when you guys have games? How's that?
So when we have games, I tend to not work as long. I'll try to work maybe 4 hours, so I have time to rest before games.
So how'd you get the job at the golf course?
All right, so during COVID, one of my good friends started working at the golf course, and they needed help, so he texted me one morning at like 5 o'clock and was like, yo, want to come work? So I was like, all right. So I called his boss later that day. I went in for an interview, and the rest is history.
Do you enjoy the job?
I do enjoy the job. I like mowing grass. It's pretty fun.
What does your job entitle of? What do you do?
So usually the first 4 hours of our day is usually just like things to open up the course. So it's like mowing grass or raking the bunkers. So usually I mow grass for the first 4 hours, and then I usually weed whack after that.
And is it strenuous at all? Or what kept you motivated in high school?
So during high school, I had coaches who I played to begin the year, but then there were games where I wouldn't play too much. But I just wanted to prove them all wrong and show them that like I can play and like I have the ability to play. So just like the games I wouldn't play pushed me to work harder to make sure I was in that lineup every game.
What made you decide to come to Westchester?
I had an offer. I was going to Concordia College, but some of you may not know, but they closed. So after that, I thought it would be a good idea to just figure out what I want to do. So Westchester was definitely the best opportunity to go to.
Did you expect to play here?
I signed here, so I expected to be on the team. As a freshman, I did not expect to play, but the person in front of me didn't have the year they were supposed to, and I got my opportunity, and I kind of ran with it.
So where are you committed now after the WCCs?
I'm going to Manhattanville to play. It's a good program for my major, and they have a good baseball team.
So your major was the deciding factor to be able to go there?
Because Manhattanville's a really good criminal justice program, so I feel like that kind of put them over the edge with other schools that have offered me.
What's your commute like to WCC every day?
So my commute's about 40 minutes. It could be challenging with work, but I usually try to get out of work like an hour and a half before I have to be down here so I can maybe go home, change, eat something, and have plenty of time to make it down to school.
Are you excited to go to Manhattanville?
I'm excited to go to Manhattanville. I mean, one of my teammates is currently going to Manhattanville with me, and I played summer ball with a bunch of the kids on the team, so I know a lot of kids there. And yeah, the coaches were really nice, and I'm excited.
Speaking of your teammate that's also committed to Manhattanville, he had a quote to say about you, that you're very dedicated and that he always sees you either in the batting cages or lifting weights and always putting in the work. What would you say to him for saying that?
Yeah, it's definitely like, I like that my teammates think highly of me because I do try to put in the time and the effort to be the best I can be. So when my teammates notice that I'm doing it, it means a lot.
Especially him going to Manhattanville with you. That's good. Well, Michael Ambrosecchia, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, John. He seems like a hardworking individual. Our next reporter, Armani Walter, spoke to Jackson Casau, a pitcher for the Vikings baseball team. They discussed his road to recovery from a serious back injury and his journey beyond WCC.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jackson Coxon here, pitcher on the Westchester Community College baseball team. Thank you for joining me today. How would you say that your season's going so far?
I think that our team's doing really well. Our record is good, but we have improving to do. And I think our pitching staff has done well, and we progress as the season goes on.
So I know you've been dealing with injuries in the past through your background sports, through your other sports like football and stuff like that. How would you say that you're dealing with that this season?
I think I've been warming up a lot better this season, getting all my muscles actually warm and ready to be worked, and that helps me avoid further injuring my back and knee.
Okay. So would you say that this new way of warming up has this improved like your game overall since you've been here?
I would say that physically I feel a lot better, as in that I don't get, like, when I'm in an awkward position, I won't feel like there's the potential to get injured or anything like that. So with injury, I think it's huge and very beneficial. Talent-wise, it does help me, but as a pitcher, like, mindset matters a lot too, so I have that too.
I know you've been working your way back from injury. Can you get into like more of the specifics of what your injury is for those at home who don't know where you're going to?
So a few years ago, I was playing football in high school, and I cut back into the middle of the field, into the big pile, because I was trying to push across the goal line. And I caught a helmet awkwardly to my knee as my foot was pinned. So it just bent awkwardly, and I felt crack, pop, 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 a million pops. And I thought I didn't know what to think in that moment, to be honest. But we got it checked out by the medical professionals, and they told me that they didn't think it was as severe as it may have seemed. So I was optimistic from the start, and that led me to see an orthopedic and all that. And the MRI came back that I had MCL and ACL damage and bone bruise that was pretty bad that the doctor was worried about. That could be a potential fracture if I didn't treat it right. But I had a good physical therapist and worked hard, 8 to 12 weeks. Probably around the 10th week of my recovery, I slipped a disc in my back, and that enabled me to walk or really function properly for a good 2 to 3 weeks until I was able to see a spine specialist who gave me injections that mimicked cortisol. And that allowed me that reduced the pain and swelling enough where I could start to work out again and strengthen my body back to where it was so it could support my spine better. Because I wanted to avoid surgery with both the knee and the back as much as possible. So I trained hard and I was able to recover my knee really well, and then the back happened. And that back injury took a solid probably half year before I was able to move athletically without feeling pain or anything like that. So yeah, that's where I'm at now.
So, and we know that through this injury, you were supposed to originally go to Florida, and now you're here at WCC. So we talk about how you feel about not being where you're supposed to be at first and not being here.
So the recruitment process for me was screwed up due to COVID, and the eligibility rule change, and so I was getting, when I had contact with all these schools, COVID really reduced the amount of money that they had and the amount of movement they had on the roster with the extended eligibility. So then Fordham offered me a spot, preferred walk-on, and I took it because I knew I could earn scholarship there. I was confident in my abilities prior to the injury. And once I got hurt, with my knee, I still wanted to go there. I wanted to work through the injury. I wanted to come back later in the spring baseball season and play there for summers. And once my back injury happened, I wasn't sure if I'd ever play sports again. So that's where it really took a turn mentally and physically, and I had to make some tough decisions. So I decided I didn't want to take on those loans without ensuring that I would play baseball, which led me to jump into other options. But we talked with the coaches here at WCC, and I decided that saving the money and going to community college would be a much better route.
So after playoffs and everything hopefully goes well, where do you see yourself going next year?
So right now that's undecided. I'm looking to play somewhere else at a high level. I'm going to continue. Once the season's over, I might take like a few weeks off from my arm, but then I'm going to get right back into training, a throwing program, strengthening my body, strengthening my muscles to support my spine, support my knee, my legs, building a strong core, and then getting proper film to start reaching out to recruiters and schools that I might want to go to. So this summer's going to be big for training, and I think it's going to be a turning point in my career where I really step on the gas and give it my all and improve as much as possible.
Do you have any advice for kids in a similar situation, going through serious injuries, trying to come back from injuries, or in a similar situation they were in?
I wouldn't give this advice just to kids, but if you're dealing with a challenge like that, like physically, where maybe that's something you've never experienced before, like me, where you have a disability due to an injury, whether it's your spine, your limbs, you break a finger, the only way that you're going to get back to the way you want to feel is if you work hard. And you work those muscles and those tendons back good enough where you can recover. And if, to somebody with a serious injury, you just have to try. You have to try your hardest to get back to it. But, my orthopedic said that surgery was, for both my knee and my back, were potential options, and that some doctors may recommend that. But I knew that if I needed to try to get back to normal without being cut open first. And with my knee injury, I tried my absolute hardest to recover as fast as possible. And a lot of credit goes to my physical therapist, but I know that I wouldn't have. I don't even know if I'd be playing sports if I didn't just put in that work to recover. So you got to work hard.
Okay, well, you're definitely having a breakout season. Look forward to following you throughout the rest of the season. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you.
Thank you, Armani, for bringing us that story.
And thank you for tuning in to Viking Sports News. I'm Will Murray.
And I'm John Pediani. And stay healthy.